What is up, guys? Ashley's Gaming back with another Feca testing on beta video. And this is probably the video you've all been waiting for, especially since I have shared the barrier damage in every single video of the single element video. But it is the multi-element set testing. Yeah, so I have been playing around with the Feca glyphs. And I think I mentioned this in probably the intelligence video, where I said if you're playing a single element build, just agility, strength, whatever, you probably want to go with the variants of the glyphs. Because they just do direct damage, the chance one even does AoE damage, the agility one gives you 15% melee damage, the strength one gives you 85% damage sustained, and the intelligence one gives you like 5 range, I think. Where is it? The intelligence one. Here it is. It gives you 5 range. So if you're playing a single element build, you probably don't even want to play with the glyphs. You probably want to go and play with the variants. However, if you're playing a multi-element build, and I will show you this set in a second, you probably 100% for sure want to play with the glyphs, and I'll show you guys why. First of all, keep in mind if you're playing a crit omni set, like for example the cross sets, glyphs are not affected by crits or critical damage. That's why I went with this set. So it is full Crimson Dawn set. So 6 items will give you an AP, it will give you an MP, it will give you 2 range, 150 stats, 20 damage. It will give you resistance, lock, dodge, 80 neutral damage. It will give you minus 40 crits. Together with the major powerhouse trophy, this set is like minus 47 crits. So you don't crit at all. So you don't have to rely on crits for this set. I have the Stalag shield for 15% range damage and the Phenor for the AP and power. I am using a Jahash cape for power and 10% spell damage. I think glyphs are affected by spell damage, so this is probably a good choice. I will go with this set first, and then I will show you something pretty interesting using the Dofus set. So for this set, I have 800 stats in every single element, and on top of that, I got 390 power. So that's almost 1200 stats in every single element, and each element has 120 damage. What else is there? Only 2 range though, so you could probably go with like a Sylvan Dofus and maybe a range exo if needed, but otherwise the glyphs don't have that much range, so you probably are fine with only 2 range. I think the glyphs are not range modifiable. Only the chance one is, I think. Yeah, the chance one is, but the other ones aren't, so it's fine, right? Let's try out this set. I will show you guys the damage of the glyphs. Let's go. Alright, so we have the chance glyph. First of all, wait, I want to actually show you guys. So this spell used to be linear only. So now it's not a linear only. You can cast it wherever you want. So it has pretty good range and a nice AoE. And it does about 700-ish. 700 to 800 damage, right? Next up, we have the strength glyph. So this one has limited range, 5 range, huge AoE. So you can cast it on the enemy. It will do 750 damage. Now, what I actually want to test is if the enemy is on the outside of the glyph, it will, I think, still do the same damage. I think this is something that Ankama has changed. Before, what would happen is if the enemy was like on the outside of the glyph instead of the inside, it would deal less damage. So this is 770, 740, and this is 770, 770. I think, let's actually try this again. Outside, 740, 770. So the damage is the same regardless if the enemy is on the middle of the glyph or the outside. That's something that's pretty important actually. The fire glyph has 5 range as well, so similar to the strength one, and the agility one has 4 range only. So that's why I said having 2 range on this set doesn't really matter. This is the int one, it does 800 damage. So the int one does the most damage, I think. So this is 33, 37, 32, 34, 31, 34, and 30, 34. So the chance one has the lowest roll, but the max rolls are all 34, 34. The intelligence one is 33 to 37. So the intelligence one does have the most damage on this. You could potentially go with a full optimize set, I think. So weapon, amulet, and boots. And then you have 4 parts of the Dawn set. So it still gives an AP. And then the optimize set will also give you an AP. So it's still like a 12 AP set. And then Jahash maybe. But you can do more damage in the intelligence element if you want to play a range build, of course. Alright, we got Barrier. Now this is an interesting spell. I don't know if this is gonna get nerfed or if it's gonna stay like this, but let's say, hypothetically, I am going to place Barrier on myself. And I'm gonna buff... actually, you know what? I'm gonna place an intelligence glyph. And then I'm gonna buff the glyphs. I will also trigger the intelligence one, does 940 damage. And then I can cast Shepherd's Crook to pull it into the Barrier glyph, which does almost 2500 damage. And when I pass my turn, it will trigger the int glyph again, doing another 1k damage. Then let's say I put the agility glyph down here. I can jump into the glyphs to trigger them. We'll do 1k and 950. And when I skip my turn, another like 1k and 950. So the glyphs do a lot of damage. You can trigger them using Reinforced Protection, which has a recast interval of 3 turns, which isn't too bad actually. But what I like the most is you can either place Barrier on the enemy like this, and then use Sudden Shower to push it. But that's a 4 AP spell, so that's like a 7 AP combo. I would much rather do it like this. So I would put the Barrier on myself, which is also easier to do. And then use the Shepherd's Crook. So this is a 6 AP combo to pull it. And then you will do another like crazy amount of damage, right? Keep in mind, before you do this combo, use Reinforced Protection to trigger the glyphs and gain another like 400 power to the glyph. So let's say I'm a 13 AP. I put down the Barrier. I put down the intelligence glyph. I buff myself. I will also trigger the intelligence glyph, do another 950 damage, and then use this spell, intelligence spell, to pull it into the glyph, 2428. And then I can finish it off with like a Leak Fire or something like that. Maybe even Gust. What is the variant of Gust? It is the... I mean, Gust is 2 AP. But I would probably in a multi-element build go with Getaway. Because with Getaway you can like push yourself a couple of cells, right? Like this. And then like on the next turn you can place a second glyph, trigger them using jumping in. Because you still have the 400%. And then you can maybe like push the enemy, I don't know. Like there are so many combos you can do, but I want to show you guys the... well, by the way, I want to show you the repulsion, the old repulsion as well, because that one is pretty strong still. Let's say you are playing a tank panda. Panda is next to the enemy, and I'm gonna do like a repulsion. Intelligence glyph. Trigger the glyph. Boom. And then if the enemy passes next to the panda in the glyph, that's 900 and 2500. So that's 3500 damage, like something like that. Which... that's just crazy. Like... yeah. Like this glyph. And then you can do this. So I got 2 glyphs and repulsion. I can jump in. That's 900 and 1000. And then pass my turn. 1,000, 1,000, and 2,700. Like, what the fuck, guys? That's crazy. Also, so I want to test out the Dofus instead of the Jahaj. So I'm losing the 80 power and 10% spell damage. But what's happening here is... I think let's actually go with this. Yeah, so this is the set, right? So the stats are still the same. However, I'm gonna get on turn 1 300 chance. On turn 2 I get 300 strength. On turn 3 300 agility. And then on the 4th turn I gain the 300 intelligence. I'm still gonna use barrier for now. And of course the reinforced protection. What you wanna do is I'm gonna go to the 10,000 HP pouch just to show you, right? On turn 1 you wanna go with the chance glyph and just do like some damage with some chance spells, because you get, look at this, 300 chance from the cape, right? So you just want to do some damage with that, and then the enemy will take another 700 damage from the glyph. Now on turn 2 you have 300 strength, so you want to put the strength glyph, you want to trigger both of them using reinforced protection, right? Then you want to put the barrier, and then you can pull the enemy into the barrier, and it's still on both of the glyphs. So if I pass my turn right now, boom. So I did like 7.8k damage on 2 turns. Then on turn 3 you have the agility buff, like look at this, 300 agility. And you still have the earth glyph. What you can do now is jump in. Of course this one will die right now, but that's it. You can easily do over 10k damage 3 turns. I'm gonna show you again. Turn 1 you have the chance buff. You put a chance glyph out there. You can actually I wouldn't go with sudden shower, because you will push the enemy out of the glyph, but you can just use this spell. It doesn't look like it's a lot of damage, which it actually isn't. Like I feel like the chance, because this is like 1100 and like the power, so this is like 1400 chance. I feel like the damage on the Nimbus spell is kind of low, but yeah. So that's turn 1, right? Turn 2 you get strength, place the glyph, trigger the glyphs using reinforced protection, put a barrier, and pull the enemy into the barrier. Or actually you can push it into the barrier. Might even be better, because then the enemy is further away from you. And the barrier does like 2200 damage, which is super OP. Then it will get another like couple of damage by ending the turn. Then you have the agility buff on turn 3. You do a teleport, boom. And you can probably do like a maneuver, which is does like decent damage, like almost 900 damage. And then like this, boom, and pass my turn. And then on turn 4, sadly, there are no more buffs to trigger the glyphs, but you have the intelligence, so you can go like lifelessness, and this one. And probably, I don't know, you could go with this one. I don't want to like pull it. Oh, actually, let's just do it like this. So, and then pass the turn. So I just did, in 4 turns, I did 18k damage. So that's about 4.5k damage every single turn. And you can play around with this, right? So for example, like you got 300 chance right now. Let's say I cast the barrier on myself. I do the chance glyph. I trigger both of them. Boom, like this. Dang, dang. And then because I have chance, I can just push it into the barrier. So let's go. So this is what I just did. Like, what is it? I put the glyph. I triggered. So this is 900, 900. Then I pushed it in, so that's already like 2,700. So that's like 29, like 4.9k. And another like, so that's 4.9, 5.7, like 6.5k damage in one single turn, basically. 6,500 damage in one single turn using that combo, which is pretty cool. I will probably, because I still have a Crimson Dawn set on my Feca on the main service, which I used before when you could still carry the Feca using the Panda method. I haven't used the Crimson Dawn set since then, but I will definitely start playing with this again. And then maybe like play around with the Dofus a little bit. Or Johash, I don't know, like either of these are still... I think the Dofus is a better option. Because you can just cycle your glyphs based on the buff that you get, basically. So if you get a chance buff, you're gonna put a chance glyph. If you get a strength buff, you're gonna put the strength glyph, and so on. And you trigger these glyphs whenever you have the spell available. Barrier has a 3-turn interval, so you can cast this whenever it's available. And I feel like this is pretty interesting, and it's also fun to play. I hope that Ankama... because a lot of people are saying it's probably gonna get nerfed. I hope not, because like how it is now, I feel like when you play versus a pouch, it is the most optimal like situation, right? So I do wonder how realistically this is when you actually go and do PVM. Like I feel like in PvP it might be a little bit strong, sure, but in PVM I would probably say it's okay. Like ideally you want to do a lot of direct damage in PVM. Glyphs aren't too viable, especially if enemies like move out of the glyphs, right? But if you can play around with a team, like get the panda to lock the enemies in the glyphs, or maybe even use a Kra that can pull them into the glyphs using the beacons, then I think this build is pretty damn interesting, and it's fun to play. Like I showed you guys the chance build, right? The chance build is probably my go-to build on my own Feca. But when I play with a team, I might want to just fool around with this set a little bit, just to have some fun. And it kind of depends a little bit on the fights that I will be doing, but this set might actually be super strong for certain fights. So, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of this build. Do you think it's going to stay like this, or do you think it's going to get nerfed before the update goes live? I think the update will go live next week once this video is up. Keep in mind, this video will go up on YouTube probably like 5 or 6 days after I've recorded this, because I recorded all of the videos on one single day. There might be some changes done on the beta in the meantime. I'm not 100% sure if they're gonna change anything about that, but keep in mind they might have changed something over the past week. But this is what I played, and I will definitely try this out on the main game once this comes out. So guys, thank you guys for watching. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're new. Also check out my Twitch, link is in the description below. I'm streaming like 3 or 4 days a week, so follow me on there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, have a great day, and see ya.